let's go on. We'll lock it. If I'm going to number
Okay. Hey, okay, so looks like we are live. I think you should be able to see things and hear me all right. If you can't hear me or you can't see me all right, just let me know. Just double checking to make sure that everything is good. I'm seeing a little bit of red on my stream. Maybe my network is not all that good, but okay. First time doing this, so excited about that. Okay. I'm just gonna double check. Can you guys hear me? Can you see me? All right. How many of you are live right now? I can't see the count because I'm streaming using OBS, so I can't see the count. Let's see. Okay, so looks like there are 10 of you guys here. And I'm so excited to be here. I feel like I just sent a message to you guys. I feel like a kid on the morning of the day that, you go on a field trip at school. And so, you don't know what to expect. You're just hoping that everything works out and you have a fun day, right? So today is somewhat of a day like that for me. It's been almost 8 months since I've started on this journey. I've figured out a lot of things, but I'm trying to figure out, and I want to make sure that, whatever I've learned, I'm able to communicate to you guys really well. So looking forward to it. So we'll just wait 1 or 2 more minutes until I think I can get my lag down, and then you guys should be able to see or hear me without much lag. Okay, I think we're ready to get into the live stream. Okay, Sriram Iyer is saying, going into buffering and lagging. Is that the case with most of you? Is it buffering too much? As long as you can hear me and you can follow what I'm saying, you should be good. So because the screens won't change. I mean, you won't be watching live video, you will be watching live screen. So as long as you can hear. Okay, so a few of them are saying works for me. It was, right now it's fine. Thank you so much. Thanks for confirming. I appreciate that because, like I said, this is the first time I'm doing this, and I appreciate all of your support. So first things first, before I get into the meat of the webinar, I just wanted to learn where all of you are from, because I know there are a lot of you from different places of the world. Many of you messaged me from Australia. Some of you messaged me from Finland. So I'm excited to know, where are you from? By the way, if you don't know, I am Pramod and I'm your host for the webinar. I'm from Chennai, India. And so let me just know where you're from. Quickly say hello in the comment section and type in your country and city. Mumbai, India. Okay, fun. Dubai, UAE, nice. It must be early there, right? I think what? It's 2.5 hours behind India. Chennai. All right, Sriram from Chennai. Thank you so much for connecting, guys. Okay, so one request I have for all of you is I put in a lot of effort into this webinar to help you understand exactly the opportunity at hand. So I just want you to block out everything else for the next 90 minutes. So if you have a pen and paper, get it out and make sure you write everything down, because there won't be a replay and the video will disappear once we are done. I wanted to leave it on as a replay. I will see if it's possible, because my apprehension is that I'm going to be taking you behind the scenes of some of the apps that I built, and there may be some things there that I wouldn't want to leave as a live video, for later on. So yeah, there won't be a replay, at least for now. So please make sure you make notes, block out everything else, don't let anything disturb you, and make sure you absorb everything that you do. Okay, I want to do this especially also to reward those who made it in time to join us today, especially all of you here who are here right now. All right, so I'm going to start and I'm going to go at full speed because there's a lot to cover today. We are here because of this one post. I never thought I'd be doing this webinar, okay? But here we are on a Saturday morning, 11 a.m. We're doing this webinar because of this one post. I posted on LinkedIn about a week back, and I shared the fact that I built and launched 2 SaaS products in 2 months, Evalo and Antho. Many of you went and logged into Evalo and Antho, and I saw a huge spike in the number of people who went and checked those apps out. We're still building it out, so I appreciate you taking the time. And I said I did it without product managers. I did it without program managers. No UI designers required, no developers, no VC funding, no spending. I forgot to add in there, no coding as well. So you don't need half the people or half the skills you think you need. Wake up, it's 2023, but by the time we're having this meeting, it's 2024, right? And what happened was almost 300 people commented wanting to learn more, and with over 100 likes. And when I started replying to a few of them, more questions kept pouring in. Hey, that's great. How do you do this? And how do you work on that? And how do you think about this? And I realized that, hey, there's no way that I can answer 300 people on chat. What I ought to be doing, or what I can be doing if people are really this interested, is to just create a webinar and have this conversation live, and make sure that I can communicate what I have learned to you guys. So here's my philosophy in life. The rising tide lifts all boats, right? I used to come from a place of scarcity, thinking if I share my knowledge with others, then they're going to take what I know and then going to run away with it. But I've been in this business long enough to understand that the pie is big enough for everybody. And if no matter how much I share, right, I come from a place of abundance where I believe that together we can grow faster. So that's one of the major reasons why I want to freely share everything that I know about building SaaS apps, and now building SaaS apps in 2024, and how I build them in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and go live. So let me just get to the title of this webinar: how to build and launch your software app in 30 days. And the tagline is, even if you have no idea of what to create, how to code, or where to start. So if you've ever wanted to build your own software, but you never really knew how to go about it, right? Or you've ever been apprehensive that, hey, wait a minute, Pramod, I'm not a coder. I don't know, all the different things that you need to do. Aren't these things expensive? Aren't these things risky? And that's one of the reasons why many people can't get into SaaS, right? I am going to help you get started. All right, does that sound good? Hit the like button if that's exciting, and leave a comment if that sounds good, okay? So, all right. So I'm just scrolling back to my comments, and I think there's a little bit of lag. So by the time I say this and by the time you comment, there's a little bit of lag, but we'll figure that out in a few as we go along, okay? So my goal, my goal, I mean, if I go into the details, this presentation is to help 2 types of people, okay? For the first group, for those of you who have never built software before, right? The non-technical folks, you've been part of software teams, but you've not really gone into the weeds and done all the software, all the coding, the environment setups and all of that. Like if you're a product manager or a UI UX designer, you learn about a new opportunity to help you become tech founders, become owners of software instead of just being an employee, and most importantly, securing your future and career in 2024. For the more technical people amongst you, like developers, you learn how you can build software at 10x the speed. And I'm not even joking. I literally mean 10 times the speed for half the cost. How to improve your software development processes, become lean. And if you've not heard of the word lean, it means avoiding wasteful development, and build a profitable business around your skill. All right. So I've had the whole of last week to think of how I'm going to deliver this. So I'm excited to get started, but I want to make sure you stay till the end, because number one, there won't be a replay. I already said that if you're just joining us, there won't be a replay for reasons. If somebody else can type in the comments why I said there won't be a replay, go ahead, do that so that the others will know. But if you stay till the end, I want to make it worth your while. So I'll be picking 5 winners of the five most engaging users for a free group consulting call, right? So we're going to sit down and we're going to figure out how you can get started. And this is only for 5 people, the 5 people who make this webinar the most engaging. And number 2, I'll share a unique one-time opportunity, because like I said, all of this happens suddenly, and I know so many of you are really excited to do something. So I also want to take I also want to make sure that I give something back to the community. It's something that I wish I had but that nobody did for me. I'll share a unique one-time only opportunity of how you could work with me to launch your app in the next 30 days. Okay, so are you with me? Stick around till the end. Okay. So, for those of you who may know, those of you who may not know, Evalo was the first app I developed. That was in September, okay? Because I noticed that there was a huge problem that companies had with lead generation. So, people ended up building software and teams and all that, but getting customers was a problem. So I built an app that helps my customers create online evaluation without code so that they can attract, engage, and qualify their leads at scale. Now, I won't get into now it might sound like a dry pitch, right? Yeah, that's because I'm not trying to sell you on Evalo at all. I just want to show you about the first app that I built, because I built this app. It's a full-fledged cross-platform app. So you can use it on iOS, Android, and the web. And I built it in 4 weeks by myself. Okay. Then once I did that, I realized, hey, I need to give my customers a way to keep engaging with their, customers or clients, even after they acquire them. And so I built Anto, which is the world's first fully automated short form email newsletter platform. In fact, I built Anto in 2 weeks, okay, in public for a hackathon, and won 3rd place. So all you have to do is go to Google and search for FastGen Anto Hackathon. I won 3rd place, but I still think I should have gotten first because mine was a working app, not a prototype like the others. Anyway, I won $250, around 20,000 rupees, and made some extremely lucrative connections. Not bad at all for 2 weeks of effort. But now I also, in addition to that, I also have an asset that can bring me a monthly revenue, right? And all of this to say, that building a SaaS has completely changed my life. It's helped me go from being a paper pusher in a cubicle, apprehensive about the future, to learning a lasting skill, being my own boss, working on my own time, and compounding on the work that I do. And my hope is that I can help all of you listening to also leverage SaaS to secure your future and build your dream. Okay, so I just want to take a quick moment and introduce myself for those of you who may not know me. Some of you are my friends. I just want to say hello, thank you for joining today. But for those of you who don't know me, my name is Pramod George. I'm the founder of Evalo.app and Antho.com. That's my full-time job right now. Before I was doing this, I was working with a company. Okay, let me just take a step back. Let me just go back. I was getting ahead of myself. So I have a little over 13 years of experience building software businesses. Previously, I was the AVP at 21K School. That was during the time of Series A. And then later on, I was the country head at the Octalysis Group. If you guys have heard of the Octalysis Group, let me know. Hit that like button because they are a very, very famous group, right? And I've also spoken at many events about lean and agile software developments. So I've seen my fair share of software development launches, fundraising, and I've even had my fair share of failures. And now many of you are probably thinking, wait a minute, this guy has been developing software for like ever. I, on the other hand, I've never built software. How could I do it, right? So this is the most important part you need to know about me, is that I am not a coder. I come from the business and management side of software development, not the technical side. So I know how to build a business better than I know how to build software architecture. But in the last 6 months, I have figured out both. And that should actually scare a lot of you developers and middlemen alike. Okay, because there is an army of one person, or like a one-person army of people or developers. I don't know what's that term. We don't have a term for them yet. but an army is coming of people who can do most of the work in software development by themselves. So how did I end up building two SaaS products? So right around 2016, I became serious about wanting a second recurring revenue stream. Okay. I kind of knew that one day I would become expendable as an employee and wanted to make sure I would not be caught unaware. And that actually came true for many people from 2021 to 2023. If it hasn't happened to you yet, it soon will. Now that you have the added problem of AI being able to do a lot of your work, and not to mention, like I said, the one-man armies like me who are on the way and can create and launch entire apps by themselves. So, being in the SaaS domain, I kind of knew how profitable a SaaS business was. So, I know that there are many product managers in this group. How many of you can guess what is the average profit margin of a SaaS business? Let me know in the comment section while I take a sip of water. Anybody? Can any of you guess what is the average profit margins for SaaS companies, especially small to medium SaaS? $75, okay. I can see some live comments come in. 90%, Nikita Sharma, Vijay, 90%. Bharat Ki Engineer says 45%. Vivek Falot says 90%. Okay. The answer was given by Nikita Sharma, Vijay Ishwar, and Vivek. The average for small SaaS is 90%. Okay, I want you to understand that, because if you are in the business world, nothing comes close to that. Okay, and there's no wonder why the richest men in this world, or at least the richest men who went from zero to $1 million or $1 billion in the last 10-15 years, did it using code. Okay, so a software business is, in my opinion, and I've been around the block a little bit, okay, so a software business is the holy grail of business models. It's digital, it can be built once, sold forever, scaled easily, priced competitively, and generally lesser of a hassle than most other business models. Okay, I should know, because, even though I knew SaaS was the way, right, I didn't have the kind of connections, the money, the skills, or the appetite for risk to execute on it, which is most of your fears as well. So I kept doing smaller businesses that I could manage on the side while, juggling a full-time job when I first started in 2016. But none of them come close to the lucrative nature of SaaS. And now that I have my own SaaS, I can look and I can confirm that the amount of effort, if you know what you're doing, the amount of money that you put in is nothing compared to the profits and the rewards or the returns that you get, right? So I've tried, many of you are looking at our YouTube, looking at people saying affiliate marketing is the way, agency, create your own agency, do reselling, drop shipping. I even tried manufacturing. I don't know if I can show it to you. Maybe I can, if you can share that with me right there. Right there is, let's see if I can share this with you. This over here, I don't know if you can see it, okay? This right here is a teleprompter which I manufactured and I sold for 7,000 rupees. My goodness, the amount of effort that goes into sustaining this business is so much compared to having a SaaS business, okay? So the reason I want to take a moment and delve on this is because if any of you are not convinced or are still kind of on the fence about, should I create a SaaS business? Should I invest my time on it? Absolutely, you should. You absolutely should, because the amount of effort that you put in and the rewards you get out are disproportionately, it's almost criminal, okay? And you absolutely should. Okay, back to our slides. So then what happened? So, like I said, I didn't have the connections, the skills or the money essentially at that time to do it. But then in December 2022, I saw an article talking about how people were building apps using low-code tools like Bubble. Have any of you heard of Bubble? Leave a comment in the live chat if you've heard of Bubble. Okay? And how they were earning millions and some were even earning tens of millions. Okay, so let me see if I can show this to you. Open in a new tab. So this is a link. I'll probably leave it in the comment section for you guys, but I want you to take a look at this. This came out somewhere in December, and it talks about companies that were, uh, literally raising money, 14 million, just by using a low-code tool like Bubble, okay, Comet. And I don't know if you guys have heard about Flexible. It's run by Karthik Sridharan. He's in Bangalore. I've had a chance to have a few conversations with him online. So he was the founder of Flexible, and he's documented his entire journey using Bubble and low-code tools to build a business that's giving him an annual revenue of 3 million. Okay, as of November 2021. This was 2 years ago. He's doing even better now. Okay, and so for those of you who don't know, okay, sorry, I'm just reading one comment. Okay, so these guys, I saw them earning millions, and some were selling their products for tens of millions. Okay, and so that made me really curious. Like, wait a minute, is it really possible to, use something as simple as a low-code tool to get to that stage? And yes, it is possible. So for those of you who's probably hearing of the term a low-code tool for the first time, here's what a low-code tool looks like. Okay, this is the tool that I use to build out Antho. So you can see at the center is the canvas on which I'm building out the edit account section of Antho. And the way to think of a low-code tool is to think of Figma, but on steroids. Okay. Okay. So the way most low-code tools are kind of set up is you have the canvas on the center, which is like the place where everything comes up, and then you have the widgets or the elements that you can just drag and drop from here and put them into your canvas. And on the right side you have opportunities, or you have settings to edit those widgets and get them to look and behave the way that you want it. Okay, so very basically, so here's another example of another tool which I'm testing out right now, which I think is actually better than the one I've been using right now. It's called Plasmic, and it's also a tool that looks very similar. At the center you have the canvas, on the left side you have the widgets and elements that you can drag and drop and put it into your canvas, and on the right you have the settings that you can use to make your widgets look different and behave differently, right? Now, in fact, one of the things I noticed about Plasmic is that they've gone even over and above to make themselves look like Figma. Okay, so like I said, when you're thinking of low-code tools, what are they essentially? They are visual programming tools which help you quickly design, develop, and publish your app using visual elements. Okay, but and so this got me really excited. So back in early 2023. When I started looking at this, I was like, wow, this is going to really speed up development. Okay, and most of them also allow you to connect with your existing code base. So on one side you can have your developers coding, and then you can have your designers designing on the same code base. So I was like really excited. I was like, damn, this is great. But like I told you, I come from a non-coding background, right? I didn't know how to code. So while this tool existed, right, there was one problem that I ran into. See, I want you to notice that I keep using the word low code, not no code, okay? Because eventually you will come to a scenario where you can only solve your problems using a little bit of code. And that, like I said, was a problem because I didn't know how to code. But for the first time in my life, I seem to be at the right place at the right time. I never get lucky like this, but this time I did, because in December 2022, another tool launched in the market. Can you guess what it was? There was another tool that launched in the market in December 2022. My screen is not visible, okay? My goodness, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Nikita. I apologize, friends. It seems that my screen was not visible for a few moments back there. All right. Thank you so much. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a moment and share those screens which you guys missed once again. Okay. So where did we finally leave off? Thank you so much. This is one of the challenges we have with live streaming, huh? Okay. So yeah, I was talking about how I discovered low-code tools, right? So for those of you who haven't heard about low-code tools yet, okay, can you guys see my screen by a show of hands or by commenting? Can you guys see my screen right now? You should see me in a small image at the bottom, and you should be able to see my screen. Okay. Okay, so for those of you who missed it, this is the screen that I'm talking about, that I was talking about. So on the center, you have the canvas. On the left side, you have the elements and the widgets that you can drag and drop into your canvas. And on the right side, you have the settings that you can use to make your widgets look and feel and behave the way that you want. Okay. Similarly, this is another tool, Plasmic, that I've been using. Yes, one of you got it right. Who was that? Let me see in the Desari Rakesh. I'm sorry if I'm not saying your name right, but Desari, you're right. This is Plasmic. These guys have gone the extra mile to make their tool look like Figma, and it's the same layout. On the center, you have the canvas. On the left, you have the elements that you can drag and drop into your canvas. And on the right side, you have the opportunity to make your elements look and feel and behave the way that you want it. Okay. So what I was saying was all of this looked great and fun and exciting, and I got started, but I ran into an issue where an issue that most of you will run into is that you will end up at a situation where you will need to code. And I'm not talking about, like simple code. I'm talking about literal, you need to write an entire function or a custom function that you need to write. And if you don't have coding experience, this is going to be like a literal roadblock. It's going to be like a wall. You can't, cross that wall. But luckily, something else happened in 2022 December, and I think Vivek answered it correctly. Yes, ChatGPT came to the rescue in December 2023. And I remember when I first saw the tool, I was like, dude, I know exactly what to use this tool for, While everyone was testing how well ChatGPT could write blog articles, I was testing it for how well it could write code, and it didn't disappoint. All I had to do was a few things. I had to tell ChatGPT context, right? What kind of a tool am I building? I needed to give it details of my databases, right? I just needed to give my table definitions. I say, this is my table, these are the fields in it, and these are the connections between these tables. And I need to say, this is, the front end logic that I have, and I wanted to do this. And it would literally write me the code, and I just needed to copy paste it into my low code function. Okay, low code tool. And that is when it hit me. So somewhere around March 2023, I had done my homework, right? And I had an epiphany, like oh my God, this is going to change everything. So here's what I realized, and this is what you guys need to realize as well. Low code by itself can't help you launch products, okay? Unless you are an extremely talented developer and you know everything about coding. Low code by itself can't help you launch products. And on the other extreme, AI or ChatGPT by itself cannot help you launch a product. But AI and low code together, my friends, is going to change the world. It has already changed mine, and it soon will change yours, and then it's going to take over, right? And here's what the screen over here I'm trying to show you. Most low code tools now also offer the option of custom functions. So what that means is that you can use all of the widgets and elements that they have for 95% of the use cases, right? And trust me, building these two apps, which are so different from so many of the different apps in the market, these common widgets are more than sufficient to build most of what you want. And then for that maybe 3 to 5% of scenarios where you need a custom function or a custom widget, you use AI. You ask ChatGPT to code it for you, or you ask your friend to help you with the code. That's about it. You don't have to hire a developer to build your whole app. What you used to have to pay like 10, 15, $20,000 to do, you can pay somebody $50 or $100 now to ask them to write just one custom function or one custom widget, right? That's just amazing. That's amazing how things are changing so fast. And all of that, and I was so excited by really what I learned that I quit my role as country head and dove headfirst into building apps, because I knew at that point that this is going to be the future of software development, and I wanted to be at the forefront. And the rest is history, my friends. In September, I launched Evalo, and in October, I launched Anto. In November, I actually launched another product called Remindo, but I've not made that public because it's a personal productivity tool which I use, and I only share it with a few friends because it's based on a very proprietary framework that I built called the PTM. So it's just something that I use by myself. But 3 apps in 3 months, not a bad rate, So I say this because I can tell you for sure, and I want you to take a screenshot of this, okay? Take a screenshot and tell me if I am wrong in 3 years. I said a few things about crypto. Go look at my Twitter feed. I said that crypto is a scam. It's going to take money from poor. It's going to take money from idiots and give it to schemers, and both are going to be revealed in time. I've said things about many technologies in the past. It's all on my Twitter feed. You can go check it out. And I'm going to say this today. Take a screenshot. I will be vindicated in a year or even lesser. But the future of software development is low code and AI. There is no doubt. It offers speed, scalability, and control at unprecedented levels. The future is now, old man. And so if you understand that reference, that final line of reference, give me a like, because not a lot of people will know where that comes from. All right. I guess I'm that old. Anyway. So, but why do I say this? Okay. I'm going to tell you 3 secrets that you absolutely need to understand. Because if you understand these 3 things, right, your mindset will change, and I will be able to unlock a new person in you, literally, right? You don't need to be spoon-fed, my friends. That's what people want you to believe, that you need to be given everything. No, I will give you 3 secrets, okay, that will absolutely unlock your brain. No, in fact, I'll do you one better. I'll give you 4, okay? It will absolutely unlock your brain and unlock your full potential in 2024. Number 1, okay, ready? Write it down so that you can come back to it again and again this year. Software or SaaS is not about the tech. Okay? I'm just going to take a quick pause. Okay, can you guys see my screen? All right, I'm just going to make sure that you guys can see my screen because I don't want to go mini screens without an issue. Okay, I think you guys can. Just want to say thank you. Yes, thank you, Ria. Thank you so much. Okay, so number one, it is not about the tech. No, people think that SaaS is about the tech. Let me ask you a question. Let me help you understand this very clearly, once and for all. Okay, why did Facebook acquire Instagram for $1 billion? Let me know in the comment section. In 2012, they were a team of 13 people. Why did Facebook acquire Instagram for $1 billion? In 2012, that was a lot of money. Okay, was it because of the tech? Was it because Facebook could not recreate Instagram? Okay, tell me in the comment section. Why? Tell me also this. Tell me, why did Facebook acquire WhatsApp for 19 billion? Was it because Facebook couldn't build their own tool? Could they not just have rebranded Messenger? Why not fork and rebuild Telegram? Why did Facebook spend 19 billion? And more recently, why did Elon Musk acquire Twitter for 44 billion? You see the price is going up, right, for SaaS? Did you notice that? Why is that? Was it because Elon couldn't put together a team that could build software? Mark Zuckerberg is trying that with Threads. Parler tried. Why did he acquire for Twitter? Okay, any answers? Customer base. Okay, so distribution. JJ says distribution. Desari Rakesh says subscribers. Bharat Ki engineers, customer base, users, for the future value of Instagram and kill competition. Nikita, user numbers, for the user base, loyal customers, FB, Insta, young base, mobile, neutralize competition. Yeah, I think you guys figured it out, right? That is the reason. When companies acquire companies for the users, for the people. I want to show you something. This is a shirt which, let me see if I can do this without making a mistake. I think you guys can see me. This is a shirt which I printed out and I wear to many conferences and all, okay? It says product is about people. Product is not about tech. It's not about many of the things that you think it is. It is about people. Everything that we do as human beings is about people. The reason, okay, and I'm going to go back to my screen now. I hope you can see it and not my face all the time, okay? So the reason why Facebook acquired Instagram for 1 billion was because Instagram had 30 million users. The reason why they acquired WhatsApp for 19 million was because WhatsApp had 450 million active users. It's what Messenger did not have, it's what Telegram did not have at that time, and it's what you could not build from the ground up, okay? Same reason why Elon Musk also acquired Twitter, because it had 229 million monthly active users and it's gone up now, okay? The reason I say this, my friends, is because many of you, okay, have a mental block. And many of you, especially if you're founders working, especially if you're tech people, like you're developers and all that, or you're a founder and you have a tech lead and all, you know, you have a mental block like the tech matters or which platform I build on matters. AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, Kubernetes, Docker, all of that, right? I am telling you, it's a disadvantage. It's like a crippling disadvantage, like shooting yourself in the foot before running a marathon. Okay? And that's why I love low-code tools. Because low-code tools takes away your power to focus on unnecessary tech things, right? It's built, okay? And it forces you to focus on the number one and two important things in SaaS, which is customer acquisition and customer experience. Here's what I want to tell you. When you get started with software development, you are full of energy, right? You're excited about the future of your software. But why are you then focusing all that energy on whether to build on AWS or Azure or Kubernetes or Docker and all of that? And then going asking your tech lead like, hey, what would you suggest? And that guy is like, oh, you know what? I'm going to have to do a little bit of research. It's going to take me 1 month. I'm going to try a little this thing. Trying to test scaling and all of that. Instead, you should be using that energy to go out and acquire customers and talk about your product and build extremely unique customer experiences. And guess what helps me do that? And what will help you do that is low code. So while my competitors, okay, even today are figuring out the tech, here I am creating experience, dragging, dropping, editing, making it look nice, and hitting that publish button. And here I am focused on acquiring customers, getting feedback, iterating. Okay, guess who's going to be successful in a few months? Me or the team that's even after like 2 months, all they have is documentation. Or the product manager, even after 3 months, he's like, you know, this is the feedback I got from customers. Damn, in 3 months, I've made like $5,000. I've validated that people will actually pay for my tool. Okay. And I have iterated on the design like 6 times. Speed. It's okay. So remember this. SaaS is not about the tech. Nobody cares about your tech. When you get acquired, if you get acquired, nobody's going to say, hey, I want to use your database. No, they'll say, please send all of your people from your database to mine. So stop worrying about the tech, okay? Don't ask, hey, will this tool help me do this or will that tool help me do that? Focus on customer acquisition and low-code tools can help you that. Now, yes, there is a reasonable question here, okay? But Pramod, what if I want to scale my tool in the future? It's a fair question that most people forward-thinking founders will ask, okay? And here's the good news for you. Here's the good news, okay? Are you ready? This wasn't true 8 months ago, but today most most if not all new low code platforms allow you to export your code. So it's a huge win for me. I get to build at light speed, and if a project takes off, I can scale with more servers or resources as necessary. Cool? So you build, you test, you validate, you iterate, you make money, and if it works out, you download your code, right? You can even download it as a mobile APK, mobile app APK, or you connect it to your existing GitHub repo or whatever repo you want, and you continue, right? So that means there is no risk also. What? You know, this is what I was saying. It blew my mind what you can do with low code today. It's like, I'm like, shit. If I can literally package this information and I can sell it to many, you know, corporate companies, and I don't want to do that, or I don't know how to do that yet at least. So I'm sharing all of this with you because this, my friends, is the future. But that's not the only reason. I want to take you to secret number 2. Okay, it's not about the idea either. Okay, and I know what many of you are probably wondering, like, what the heck? It's not about the idea. Okay, but bear with me for a minute. Okay, bear with me for a minute. Many of you are wasting time trying to find a great idea. And if you're one of these guys, I want you to remember this one thing. Write it down, remember it. This was a quote that came to me sometime back. It was a much more uncouth quote, but I kind of tried and hopefully made it a little more family friendly. Okay, so it says, an idea is like an armpit. Everyone has one or two, and most of them stink. Okay? So if you are somebody of an idea person, I want you to stop. Your ideas don't count. Okay? So how many of you on this webinar, okay, you have an idea about what you want to build? Say yes, I have an idea, or say, or if you don't have an idea, how many of you don't have an idea of what you want to build? Say, I don't have an idea. I'm going to take a moment and just see. I'm just going to take a minute and see how many of you have an idea, how many of you don't have an idea. Rishi Bajpai says, you're really starting to unlock the mind. Thank you so much, Rishi. I appreciate it. That's my goal for this meeting. I want you to succeed, and it all starts with here. Okay. I don't have an idea. I don't have an idea. Rishi Bajpai says, I have ideas. Okay, no idea what to build. So here's the deal. Again, I'm going to say something that's going to like break your mind a little bit. Those of you who have ideas and those of you who don't have ideas are both in the same boat, because ideas don't matter. Most of you have been brainwashed into thinking that an idea counts. It doesn't. There is no such thing as idea validation. There is only solution validation. Remember that, my friends. I'm going to say that again. Write it down. You may want to come back to it, put it on your wall or something. There is no such thing as idea validation. There is only such a thing as solution validation. This is why when people ask me to sign an NDA before they tell me their idea, I immediately recognize them as noob entrepreneurs. And I don't encourage any discussions with them. They'll say me, Pramod, I have a great idea, but you have to sign this NDA before I can tell you this idea and how I'm going to implement it and all that. Bullshit. I don't encourage any kind of discussion with anybody who comes to me and says they want me to sign an NDA, because they haven't been in the business long enough to understand that ideas don't count, only execution does. And then there are those of you who think that your idea must be unique. The real world doesn't work like that, my friends. Oh my goodness. Okay, this is like, break this belief once and for all. Never come back to this point in your life again. There are no unique ideas. Anything that you have thought of, somebody has already thought of before. There are only unique implementations. We live in a world where both Uber and Ola exist. Now Rapido, so many other platforms also exist. We live in a world where Swiggy and Zomato exist. How many of you use Swiggy? Type in Swiggy, okay? And see how many of you use Zomato. Type in Zomato. You will see a lot of people use different apps, right? Who came first? Nobody cares. Okay? When you're in this business long enough, you realize that the pie is big enough for everyone to have a share and for everyone to profit. And the reason I say this is because every day, whenever I go, wherever I speak, sometimes somebody will come and tell me, how do I, get at least, how do I get at least one email every day. That's there. How do I come up with an idea, or how to come up with good ideas? And if you go online, right, there will lots of people say, oh, solve your own problem, scratch your own itch, and all of that. Like, go find a group of people who have a problem. All of that, a lot of these generic advice, right? But even if you do all of that, there is no chance of succeeding. And you won't like the answer that I'm going to give you. You don't find good ideas. You can't find good ideas. You only find good ideas by keeping on testing until you find an idea that will work. Does that make sense, my friends? You may have your own itch that you scratch, and you will say, now I'm going to build a software around that. No, it does not. It does not need to succeed. I remember in 2019, okay, I was working with a company, 2019 or 20, I was working with a company where one of the clients said, hey, we have this problem, and I know that, this is a big problem. And so what happened, the founder jumped into action, and he came and told our product team that, hey guys, we need to, if we can solve this, there's a lot of money in this. We took about 8 months to build something. And then when we went to the client, he said, oh, we just use Excel formulas. We spent 8 months, okay, on bad information. So the only way that you can get good ideas is if you keep testing till you find one that works. So unless you can prophesy, this is the only empirical entrepreneurial formula that I have seen work across domains and work 100% of the times. Sometimes luck and timing is involved, my friends. I don't deny that. But for most of us who come from a developing nation, we don't have access to luck and timing as much as our foreign counterparts do. What we do have, though, and in abundance, is the strength of effort. And if we put in the effort, we can make our dreams come true. Now, here's another secret I will tell you that not a lot of people tell, okay, which they tell you. So here's another secret, okay? Customers can only validate things that they can see, not what you tell them. Here's what I mean. I've seen many product managers, okay, they'll explain their ideas like waving their hands and all. Like, so for example, if I was to explain my idea of Evalo to you, okay, I would like, hey, you know what? I'm going to build a tool that helps you create evaluations to attract, engage, and qualify leads at scale for your business. And I'm doing all those things, waving my hands and all of that, okay? That's what most people do. Now, that is one way to do it. Or imagine the other way, where I spend a weekend building out Evalo, okay? And I show it to my customer and say, hey, here is a tool that will help you get more leads for your business. Take a look at it. Let me know what you think. Or maybe I sit next to him and I say, hey, here's the app, right? What do you think, right? And I can see it in their eyes, okay, if they like it or not. So this is a concept which I've come to term it as, I'll know it when I see it. I don't know if maybe I should get a better name for it, right? I'll know it when I see it. So the best way to explain this is a grocery, when you go to the grocery store, sometimes you write a note, right? I need to buy milk and eggs and meat and whatever, and you go to the shop. But once you go there and you see something, like for example, you see mushrooms there and you like mushrooms, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, I want mushrooms, right? You didn't realize that you needed mushrooms until you saw the mushrooms in the grocery store. Similarly, clients cannot make heads or tails of what you tell them. Don't wave your hands too much. They won't understand. Show them. When you show them, then they will say, oh, yes, this is great. Oh, wait a minute, this is not what I expected. This is not what I meant. Or this is not what I was hoping it would be. So show them, okay? So what is it? It's not about the tech. It's not about the idea. What is it about then? Okay, write this in what I'm going to say next, write it down and type it in the comment section. Success lies in the execution. Okay, type it, you'll remember it for longer. And again, this is why low-code tools are amazing. I love them because it helps you focus on the execution. Okay, now hopefully this is where I stop, and then I talk about the tools in more detail. Now hopefully by this time I have convinced you of the importance of execution when it comes to SaaS. Now you're probably wondering, okay, great, how do I execute? Won't I need a big team? Won't I need know a lot of things? Well, let's look at secret number 3. Now that was a cue for me to take a sip of water. Okay, so secret number 3 is you don't need half the people or half the skills that you think you need. When I built Antho and Evalo, I used only 3 services, okay? 3 services or tools. That's it. A front-end tool, a back-end tool, an integration tool. What does that mean? Sorry. A front-end tool or a service that helps you create the UI, okay, and how it looks to the customer. The back-end tool, which helps you create the database where your information is stored. Storage, where your files, images, things that your customers upload, or store something like a drive folder. So storage. Authentication, like getting people to sign into your app with Google or Apple or Twitter. And then an integration tool, okay, which is connecting your app to other apps. So if you are, creating something of a project management tool and you want to connect with ClickUp, you need an integration tool. Think of Zapier, okay? So front-end tool, think of Figma, but on steroids, okay? Back-end tool, think of, I need a better example for a back-end tool. Think of a flow chart, right? Where you say, this is the logic, this should happen next, but in that flow chart, actually code is run on each this thing. I'll show you the tool, okay? And finally, an integration tool, think of Zapier, but much more capable, okay? So let's look at the front-end low-code tools. Here I am recreating Meta's Threads app. It's so easy. I already spoke to you about how the front-end layout is, right? On the left, you have the tools, right, or the widgets. You can drag and drop them into your canvas. And on the right, you have options to make them look and feel and behave the way you want, right? I can add images, adjust padding, add text, change fonts. I can do all of this without the help of a designer or front-end developer, okay? So that's already 2 roles you don't need if you're going to build your app. It's just drag and drop. And if you think this is, and you're feeling apprehensive right now, try it for 1 week. This will become very familiar to you, right? It's only like first time. Remember when you were trying to learn to drive a car? I remember because I'm teaching my wife how to learn to drive a car right now. And you're so apprehensive, like, what do I do? What are the different buttons I must press? What should I do in case of an emergency and all of that? But once you start driving, it's like you'll feel like, hey, I was worrying about nothing, right? So that's what I would also say for those of you who are just starting with low-code tools. Go ahead, make mistakes, drag and drop things, make it look nice, change the colors, fonts, okay? And if you don't know how to, what to change it to, okay? Many low-code apps nowadays allow you to load your own design systems, and all of your widgets, fonts, colors will align to the new design. So you don't have to go and change it individually anywhere. Okay, so for those of you who are not familiar with the concept of design systems, okay, design systems are a comprehensive collection of guidelines, patterns, and tools that are used to make your app look consistent across the different pages. So if you're wondering, what should my buttons look like? Use a design system. So what do I mean by design system? I want you to go and Google, okay, best design systems, all right? And in that, you'll see that Google will return a list of results. Google Material Design System, Atlassian Design System, Microsoft Design System, Shopify Polaris Design System. Go look at all of them, find a design system that you like, that looks good, and use it. So for example, I use Atlassian's design system. Okay, let's see if I can do this. I can change my screen, open link in new tab, copy link address. Okay, so personally, I like the Atlassian design system. Okay, so it shows me how to design different components or parts of my app. The avatar group, the navigation, if I'm giving a badge, if I'm giving a banner, if I'm giving a calendar, if I'm giving a button. Okay, let's go to button. So it says the default form of a button used for most cases, they are not impactful enough to represent, they're not impactful. So you say, okay, if it's a primary button, then use this format, right? If it's just subtle, use this format. If it's a link, use this format of a button, right? Can you guys see my screen? I just want to double check you guys can see my screen. Yeah, yes, you can use dribble too. So the the point I'm trying to make is you don't have to recreate the wheel. Okay, you don't have to recreate the wheel with regards to UI. You load in this design system into your low-code tool, as you can see here. Okay, so you can see here, and it just updates all of your. So here you update or import your Figma theme, right? And you can then, it automatically updates your colors, your typography, your theme widgets, all of that. One click, that's all it takes. Okay, in 15 minutes you have your entire design system ready. Now all you have to do is drag and drop. And unlike dragging and dropping in Figma, in low code, when you drag and drop, you're also having code behind all of that. Okay, so if you want to get started right now, head over to Figma. I think many of you may have access to Figma because you guys are, many of you are, if I'm not wrong, from the world of product development, right? Or if you're not, head over to figma.com, download the app and search for design systems right here. And you're going to find a bunch of design systems here. Okay, that's it. Okay, so I'm going to speed through this, but I want to show you that you don't need half the people or half the skills that you think you need. Okay, so now you can upload your own design systems. You've got your front end, and you don't need a UI UX designer for most cases. Okay, maybe there are some, like, I don't want to say 100% you don't need, but there are some most cases where you don't need them. So you can get started. If you need to figure out a new flow that's not really available, maybe you can get the help. Okay, so now let's go to the back end. Now for the back end, I want you to go and take a look at superbase.com. It's a complete, oh my God, back end for your app, and it's completely open source and it's completely low code. It allows you to, and did I say low code? Sorry, did I say open source? Why I stress on open source is because you can literally build your backend on Superbase, and then if you want to grow later on, you want to maybe move to a separate server or secure server, or you want to do something, or you want to even sell your product, right? And you just want to take all of this and give it to somebody. You can literally just export your entire backend and give it to somebody, and they can just host it on their own server. It's like a Firebase alternative. Okay, it allows you to create databases. It offers authentication methods. It allows you to do custom functions like edge functions. I won't go into those details because you don't need to know that when you're just getting started. Okay, it offers storage, which is, like I said, the drive folder where you can keep your images and all of that. And it offers AI integrations. And all of this with a super generous free tier that most of you won't even exceed in 12 months. So I personally have had a lot of conversations with the founders of this app, Paul Cobblestone and Ant Wilson. Follow them on Twitter. These guys were funded by YC. And remind me to tell you about funding, okay, with regard to low-code tools. Or maybe I'll just tell you right now. So how do I also know that low-code tools are the future of how software will be developed? Because so much funding is going into these apps. If you look at YC 21, 22, and 23, go look at the companies that they have funded. I think around 70% of them are low-code tools. That's saying something. I'm just going to leave it at that. Okay. So anyway, so here is an example of me using Superbase. If I wanted to create a table, all I had to do was hit the new table button, add the name, add the columns, and hit save, and I have a new table. That's it. And then I take that table link and connect it in my front end, and bam, I have a connection. Another example, AppWrite. Absolutely. There's so many of them. In fact, thanks Hari Natraj for calling that out. One of the reasons I'm a little apprehensive for, with regard to the front end tools, I did not really say this is the tool that you should use, or this is what is, because I'm still testing out many tools. So many of them are becoming so good every day. Like right? So I want to be I want to be slightly coy when I say, use this tool or use that tool. But when it comes to the back end, right, I've been working on Superbase for a long time. I can tell you without a doubt, Superbase is the app for you. I don't get any kickbacks, okay? Nothing. I don't make I don't have any reason to to not recommend them. I don't have any reason to benefit from you guys using them either. But I just love Superbase, and you will too. So for example, here is another screenshot I took of me just adding email authentication on top and Google authentication. It's just like I need to go in there, I need to set up my Google authentication, and then just copy that code and paste it in the front end, and bam, I have a way for my users to log into my app. All right. So now let's talk about the integration tools. Okay. So remember I told you the integration tool is something like a flow chart. Well, think of your integration tool like Zapier, but on steroids. So what it's doing essentially, a backend integration tool is a way for you to connect your APIs to other products APIs. Okay. So what it does is, you can see here, this is the backend logic which I wrote for Antho. And what it does is that every day morning at a set time, it runs a code, it gets data from my database, okay, then it loops the data multiple times for each user and sends a user an email every morning. So remember I said Antho was a fully automated newsletter platform. Well, this is the code behind it. So what this backend is doing, or this integration tool is doing. So one of the things I want to okay, maybe I won't tell you that right now. It's a little bit confusing, but just understand this. The integration tool, right, helps you do a sequence of steps in orders. You can even have like options over here. You can see it. You can have, where is that? If condition. So if there is an if condition right here, you can split your flow into two parts, and you can do different, logics. So what that essentially does is, it helps you connect your app with a third person app. So what is the third person? Maybe 2000, even if you're on the Google Workspace account. So Recent is an account is a low code tool that's built on top of AWS. And I can connect to this low code tool and say, hey, when this set of steps happen, send an email to this list of people. Okay. So this tool, what I'm using is called FastGen. And this was the tool that I worked on to build Antho, and even won my, the hackathon. Okay. Now, again, with the tool recommendation here, I am testing out another tool right now that's in the market, which I feel is slightly better. And so what I'm going to do is, at the end of this conversation, when we have our Q&As, I'm going to try and answer, questions about how to find the right app and what I think of as the best apps for these three sections: the front end, the back end, and the integration. So what am I trying to communicate in this, my friends? Okay, I'm just going to take a pause here, break here. Okay, is it just me or the video? So yeah, it's okay. I'm sorry, it seems like there is an issue with the connection. I just want to double check if you guys can hear me all right. I apologize, not because, and I don't really know what the issue is. I feel like this may be a network issue, but if you can hear me, see me, can you just leave a comment so I know that the issue may have been resolved? Just double checking here, guys. Okay, you seem to be running into some technical difficulties. I'm just going to check with my friends here. I'm just going to check with my friends here if the video is back. Okay, seems to be some technical issue. So, okay, I'm going to try something extremely risky. I'm going to stop streaming and connect again. I don't know. Should I try that? Should I try that? I'm not sure if I'll be able to reconnect. Uh, mm, okay. Okay, can you guys hear me all right now? Is everything back to normal? I feel like it should be based on some of the stats I'm reading for the live stream. But let's see if there is anything I can do from my side. Yes, we can hear you. Thank you so much for confirming. Just gonna double check if I can do something differently on my side. Okay, you guys can hear me all right? Okay, yes, audible now, Pramod. Okay, let's see. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and reduce my bit rate just a little bit. Okay, and see if that makes a difference. I hope it does. So, okay, so Nikita, you've been really helping me out. I appreciate it. So I'm going to take a step back and also show you what you may have missed. Okay, so okay, yeah, okay. So what I was saying about FastGen. Okay, FastGen is the tool which I mentioned. Now, there are many tools in the market right now, but which one would I recommend? I would say just hold on. I want to have a conversation with you about how to select tools for your use case. Okay, I want to do that maybe towards the end of the conversation, because my thoughts on that are still forming, and I'm actually writing an article about how to choose the best apps for 2023, and hopefully I'll be able to give you a better answer there. Don't jump to any of these platforms just yet. I want you to pay attention here right now, and then at the end I'll talk about an opportunity for us to do figure that part out. Okay, so anyway, so why did I show you all of this? Because I wanted to prove to you that a one-person team is actually more than enough. A two-person team would be great because you have somebody to talk to as your journey goes on. Okay, but you don't need, in the future at least, you don't need a full team of UI UX designers. You don't need a lot of front-end developers. And because all of this is done on, the platforms that offer these services like, Plasmic, Flutter, and all of these things, Flutterflow, sorry, vweb.io, and Bubble, you don't need cloud engineers. Okay, you don't need to set up your Docker and your Azure instances or whatever. You don't need, most importantly, you don't need project, program, and product managers. And I'm going to warn you guys, if you guys are middlemen, the future is not going to be kind to you. Okay, if you're just the person who takes information from one place and gives it to another place, the future is not going to be kind to you. And I know, because I was a product manager once too, and I know that there's not a lot of place for middlemen in the future. Okay, so then you don't need database engineers. You don't need to write code, because you don't need to worry about your database being up and all that. Superbase is going to take care of everything. And if you want to write queries to extract your information from the table, like I said, use ChatGPT. Okay, it'll write beautiful code that's even more optimized and better than most database engineers I know can write. And you don't need backend developers. Okay, all of the logic lives on your integration tools or your backend tools. It's just visual. You say if A happens, then do B, check for D, and then do E, right? That's it. And most importantly, the future won't need a lot of bosses, because there will be a bunch of really capable team members who can do most of the work. right? And because they will be so cross-functional, right? You won't just be a front-end developer or a UI UX designer anymore in the future. You'll be a person who works on outcomes, not outputs. Until 2023, most of you worked on outputs. Did I create 5 slides? Did I create 5 pages? Did I create 3 online pages? Did I create 10 database tables? The future will not judge you on your output. It will judge you on your outcomes. Did your designs increase, a certain metric? Were you able to create an optimized database? So because all of you going forward will be much more optimized and cross-functional, the future won't need, for good measure, bosses as well. And finally, you might be thinking, Pramod, this is all great. So it looks like, it is possible for me to build my own app in 2024. But let's say I build it, okay? Who will buy it? And that's where secret number 4 comes in. And I'll be quick here, okay? I'll be really quick here. Many of you make the mistake of building first and selling second. But my secret that you should remember, okay? Don't tell anybody this. Or if you want, you can tell. I want you to know, sell before you build, and you'll never ever be poor again. That's what I mean. First time entrepreneurs, okay, they will build first, they will validate second, and sell third. Second time entrepreneurs, okay, who've got all the arrows in the back and are lying face down on the ground, okay, they will sell first, validate second, and build third. Okay. Now, this doesn't mean that you shouldn't build your product until you made sales. What I'm trying to say here is that you should be able to start sales activities earlier than you think is necessary, and it must run in parallel. It must never come after development. This is why I personally recommend that it's always better to work on a product or tool with a friend or a co-founder. 2 heads or 3 heads are better than one, because while one of you are focusing on the product, one of you can focus on getting it out to market, one of you can focus on sales and so many different parts. But just remember this one secret and you'll never be poor again. Don't sell after you build. Sell before you build, or start selling at the same time as you build, and you will be all right. So here's an example. Even before I started building Evalo, okay, there are a few of you here that I told you that I'm building Evalo. I even offered the idea freely to other people. I said, hey, this is an idea I have about Evalo, helps people get more leads for their businesses. If you want to go ahead, do it. Okay. And the reason I do that is I want to validate. I want to give it to people I want to see. So what I did is, when I became serious, like when I knew that, okay, looks like I can build Evalo. Why I don't want to, maybe I want to just do it myself. I don't want to, have it done by a developer or anything. So the first thing I did was I didn't go start coding. I went to social media and I posted. I said, the reason I'm building Evalo is simple. Lead magnets convert at 22%. Evaluation quizzes convert at 44%. Double that of lead magnets. Why are you still offering lead magnets? Okay. So I did that, and you can go to my Twitter feed and you can see so many times I have posted, and down I put build in public. So what can you do, okay, to sell first and build next? First, do this today. Whether you're on LinkedIn or Twitter or wherever, start posting on social media about your idea and get feedback. Now you'll probably remember that I told you ideas don't count. Don't be afraid of putting your ideas out there. Don't be afraid of putting your ideas out there. I always share my ideas freely, because I know that the people that even if you give them like everything, you give them low code tools and AI and everything, to actually execute on it, right, is you need a completely different skill set. And I'll talk about that later on. When I remember, I said at the beginning of the conversation, I said I will be offering a way for a few of you to build your app in the next 30 days. I'll talk about why that is so important. So feel free and give your ideas out on social media. Talk about how you're going to execute it. Ask people for their feedback. Second, go to online forums where your target customers congregate and build relationships with them. whether on Quora or Reddit or Facebook groups, whatever. You should be in there talking to people, answering questions, building relationships, not selling. Okay, don't sell first, build relationships first, answer questions, then say after like 1 month of building relationships, you say, hey, I've got an idea that I want to build, what do you guys think? Then they're going to come and they're going to give you feedback, they're going to give you good advice. Otherwise you go on Reddit and try to sell first, they will immediately ban you from the subreddit. Okay, and then tell them about your interest and gauge their tell them about your interest and gauge their tell them about your idea and gauge their interest. Sorry, got it mixed up. And I think that's a cue for me to take a small sip of water and see if there are any comments that I missed in the meantime. Okay. Okay, so we are almost nearing the end where we will get into a Q&A section. So I want you to start writing down your questions. Okay, and then when we hit our Q&A, we will, you won't need a lot of time to ask your questions and I'll be happy to answer them. So finally, what gave me the confidence to get started on this journey? It was this chart, okay? I realized something. I didn't want to make $1 million because I have worked in big companies. I have worked in roles of responsibilities. And I absolutely can tell you that bigger companies / bigger revenues equals bigger problems. No one tells you about the cost of running these large companies. So I don't know if you have noticed that all the billionaires are divorced and have broken families. That's all I'll say about that. But I just wanted you to realize that I came to a place of understanding where I kind of asked myself, how much do I want to just be happy without a lot of tension and be present for my family and my wife, and just be a good dad all around. My goal is not to be the greatest SaaS developer. My goal is to be remembered as a good dad or a good husband or a good son, right? So I asked myself, okay, you know what? Let me take the low end. Let me say I need 3.5 lakhs per month, okay? And I did the math and I asked myself, how many customers would I need to get me to 3.5 lakhs a month, okay? And if I did it, so here's the chart. If I charged $80 a month, which is actually average for the Western world, I would only need 50 customers, okay? And as I go down, I looked at this number 40, which is like an average for the global average. So most apps and most SaaS businesses you can sell for $35, $37, $42. I won't say you, I only need 100 customers, okay? Not 1,000, not 100,000, just 100 customers whom I can help with a SaaS to help me achieve my personal freedom. Heck, I was able to get 154 people to sign up for this webinar in 1 week, okay? I think I can get 100 paying customers for my SaaS, or maybe even sooner. So that was the confidence I had and the reason I got started. And I hope that I was able to give you the confidence also that it is possible, okay? But now, let me ask you a question. How many of you, okay, so we spoke for about, I think I'm just checking my time, almost an hour, okay? But an hour, even though, you saw me speed through this, but even though I spoke for an hour, it's just too short to cover a lot of things. How many of you would be interested to continue this conversation separately, continue to learn, and maybe even build your app in the next 30 days? By a show of hands, how many of you would be interested? Or just leave a comment or a like so I can see. I'm just going to step out of my... Okay, so Vivek says, I would love to. Okay, so there are two of you, me. Thank you, JJ. Thank you, Desari. Okay, so what I want to talk about something that, it's just been a week in thought, right? And if you don't mind, I put together a special package just for today called the Founders Club. And this is a cohort based private training process and community that I'm designing to help you implement what we've learned and launch your app over the next 4 weeks. So I created this because the real reason that you haven't built an app yet is not a knowledge problem. It's an accountability problem. So do you mind if I take a few minutes to share with you what's inside the Founders Club, and then we can go into the Q&A? Just let me know if that's all right with you. I want to make sure that I have your permission to talk about the Founders Club and what I have in mind for that program. Okay, I'm just going to go back to the chats and see. Yes, Vivek says, please go ahead. JJ says, yes. Okay, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to share that. So, what it is really is, I realize that many of you require a small community to grow. So what it is essentially is primarily a community, but a 30-day cohort class where I will show you live the exact steps you need to take to build and launch your SaaS. So every day morning, or we'll figure out a time together, but I will work with you to help you set up your backend, set up your front end, design your tool, validate your idea, connect all of these things together, and launch your MVP in 30 days. Okay, and it's going to be a live cohort based class. So it's not going to be like a webinar. It's going to be us on Zoom, or it's going to be us on Google Meet, and we're going to be able to converse and talk with each other and make sure that we are able to solve each other's problems, right? So what's covered, so you can, I think I did this once for one of my friends, so I can just based on that, you can ask me questions like, what's my opinion on B2B or B2C? Which is more profitable? Is it better to build a marketplace app? How do I price my product? How to find a winning idea? What are the best low-code tools right now? What are the exact steps to build for scale? How to authenticate users the right way? What authentications to use? How to sell on social media? How to integrate open AI into your tool? And I want to give you, my free website and landing template. So you don't have to go and create all of that. You can just copy paste and get your app up and running really quickly. I also can help you find investors and raise money if that's what you want to do. And also, since I work closely with a lot of low-code founders, the founders who create low-code tools, I will be able to get discounted access for many of these tools and much more. So here's what you get: private coaching, consulting, and mentorship for 30 days at a value of that's of value $16,499. But that's not all. I'm also going to throw in my How to Become Truly Agile video course, which is worth $4,799. It's got a 5-star rating and it's only 30 minutes. Many of you have spent more money than the previous, than the entire 30-day coaching that I was telling in Scrum and Kanban classes for 2 days, right? But in 30 minutes, I'm going to explain how or what it means to be truly agile, not based on information I learned from a book, but by actually building products, by building businesses around products, not just building, a web page or something like that, but building true profitable business around products. And I do this in 32 minutes on this webinar, on this live course, not even live, on this course. And I want to give it to you for free. In fact, it has a 5 rating, but unfortunately, I think I saw it yesterday, it just came down to 4.7. But nevertheless, I'm so excited to give you this because it can just change your life. So what do you get? You get private coaching, consulting, mentorship, and becoming the Truly Agile video course for a total value of $21,298 or $256. But that's not all. I'm also going to give you a 1-year free access to the Founders Club community. Like I told you, the problem or the reason why you've not yet built an app is not a knowledge problem. There's enough knowledge on the internet. You can go and search. You don't even have to be on this webinar. What you lack is an accountability problem. What you lack is somebody helping you figure out your next 5 steps. So this community is going to be a group of UI developers, or designers, UX developers, front-end developers and back-end coders. So all of us can come together and help each other where it's necessary, but all of us are going to be a group of ambitious founders that want to build something and secure our future. So what do you get? Private coaching, consulting and mentorship, becoming truly agile video course, and 1 year of free access to the community for a total value of 40,197 rupees or 482 USD. But not only that, I'm also going to throw in a 1 year free access to Value. So whether you're trying to figure out, if your idea is valid and you want to do some kind of a survey and provide evaluations to your customers, right? You will be having access to this tool for 1 year. So now is the time. I just want to take 1 minute to explain what Evalo is. Evalo helps you create evaluations that you can use to attract, engage, and qualify leads. So what you do is go and create an evaluation. For example, how healthy are you? Take this evaluation to learn how healthy are you. And then you give this evaluation to your customers. Your customers give them their name and email, and then they answer questions that you have said. So what happens is when they answer these questions, they are giving you information about themselves. You get to learn more about who they are, what they want, and at the end of the evaluation, they get feedback, okay, about themselves. So your exercise levels are medium, your nutrition levels are so and so, your sleep and all of that are in such and such a situation. Okay. So you will learn that. So what am I saying? So your customers will get feedback about themselves, and you will learn more about your customers. So what happens is, for example, once your customers put in all their information, you get to see, okay, you know what? When it comes to a certain value that their score is low, maybe I don't want that kind of a lead in my business, so I won't contact them. Or for another answer, the lead might have answered it in a very special way that score is high. You might say, oh, I need these kinds of leads, let me reach out to them. So you save a lot of money on lead gen and outreach. So what do you get? Private coaching, truly agile video course, fully free, 1 year free access to the community, 1 year free access to Valo for a total value of 55,995. Now, obviously, I'm not going to charge you 55,000 rupees, but I just want to ask you one or two questions. If all this did was to teach you a highly profitable new skill and help you get ahead of your peers in 2024, would it be worth it? I want to ask yourself this question, okay? If all this did was help you build relationships with other ambitious founders, would it be worth it? In my experience, 12 and a half years experience, I have recognized that it's not how, the answer is always who. You want to grow, don't ask how, ask who. Who can help me grow? And I'm asking you the question, if all this did was help you build relationships with other founders, would it be worth it? If all this did was helped you stop searching for new methods of revenue generation, or so many of you are searching YouTube, right? How do I build a passive income and all of that? If all this did was help you stop doing that, would it be worth it? If this was something that you could put your effort into for the next few years and help you stop searching on the internet and start on a path of entrepreneurship, would it be worth it? Right? And finally, would it be worth it if it helped you never again be afraid of getting laid off because you are going to learn a profitable skill? The reason I ask these questions is because this was the help that I wish I had when I was getting started back in 2016 and 2017. I didn't get that help, and it took me almost 6 years from 2016 to 2023. Now I want to offer that. And for today alone, and because I don't know what the hell I'm doing, okay, for today alone, I put in this number just before we got on the conversation. For today alone, I want to offer this for 10,000 rupees only, right? 30 days, and what again, I'm going to show you what I'm going to share, Okay. Just 1 second. Okay. So yeah, just for today, if this is interesting to you, if you want to build something in the next 30 days, if this is something that could change your life, I want to invite you to the Founders Club for 10,000 rupees only. And right now, I'm just going to give you, be honest, you have two options. You don't do anything, you don't invest, no risk, and I absolutely understand, but you also get no reward. Entrepreneurship is about risks. You get to look back in 6 months and wonder, what if, right? What if I had done that? Or option number two, you invest in yourself, you build an app, learn a skill, grow your network, and secure your future. You live without regrets. And just to make the deal even more easy for you, I'm going to offer you a 15-day money back guarantee. If I can't help you, I don't deserve your money. If for any reason you feel that I can't help you build your app, talk to me and I'll return your money. I don't need it. So here's the real question. One app can change your life. It did for me. My question to you is it worth spending 4 weeks to change your future? Okay. And because I love, and I've been figuring out this part really well, the sell before you build as a fast action bonus. Okay. For those of you who want to stand out and aren't afraid of taking action right now. Okay. And I'm going to say this only once, because as soon as I show the fast action bonus, people may want to take me up on the offer, and the seats may not be available, because I'm only offering this for 20 people. That's it. I don't think I can handle more than 20 people at this time. So for 20 interested people, and for the first 10, okay, for the first 10 applicants who sign up, I am going to offer them to bring up to 4 team members to join the cohort. So you only pay the 10K, but you can bring your team. So if you have a co-founder, or you have a friend who wants to also learn how to build low-code apps, and you want both work on one product, you can bring up to 4 team members to join the cohort. So this is actually, I'm doing this because, like I said, I encourage you to find a co-founder or a friend to help you in your SaaS journey. So if you have somebody like that, and if you're one of the first 10 applicants, I'm going to offer this additional offer as well. Okay, so as I said, the winners, 1 hour free group consulting call. Vivek, Hari, Nikita, Dasari, and JJ, thank you so much for engaging with me in this conversation. I am going to send you, oh, okay. I just realized I've been saying your name wrong. It's Nitika, is it? It's Nitika. I've been saying Nikita. I'm so sorry. Nitika, Dasari, JJ, Hari, and Vivek, congratulations for being here and winning this, this raffle, I would say. I'm going to send you a separate message about a group call that the 5 of us, am I counting that right? Yes, the 5 of us can do. And I'm going to help you guys build your product and take it to the, any questions that you have about low code development, I'm going to help you do that. Okay. So now I want to get into the Q&A section. That's it. That's my pitch. If you guys want to join, I'm going to leave a link in the comment section if that's what you guys would like. So just give me a second, and if your questions are ready, let me know right now. I'm more than happy to take your questions. All right, I can see a few questions come in. So I'm having a little trouble scrolling up and making sure there are no questions on the top. So if you've asked any questions previously, can you also just make sure it's on in the few of the latest ones as well? Okay, Nitika Sharma asks, are you associated with the Success Gyan community? No, I don't know who they are, but I've read a few books on in the last 2 weeks about how to conduct webinars. So I got a few tips from there. But the real reason why I wanted to create a paid tier or a paid way for us to continue this conversation is because people who pay attention. so what happens is I have helped people in the past, but when I do it for free, they don't really, take it seriously. So they come for 1 week and then something, life happens to them and then they disappear. So I was very clear that, I wanted to make sure that I was only attracting the right kind of people. So if you are really, really interested to build your app in 2023, then I want to help you build it. And that way, I also, there's a secret that I've not told you guys. But if you scroll through my Twitter feed, you will realize that. And it's that I'm building a mafia. So like the PayPal mafia, I'm building a mafia because I realized that, like I said, if you want to grow, it's not it's not how, it's who you know. So I'm building a mafia that I can, grow with. I want to help a group of people grow and build apps and succeed. And then when they succeed, I succeed. When I succeed, they succeed. So I've already got a few team members working on this, and if you follow me on Twitter, you'll see this in more detail. I talk about me building this mafia and how important it is for people to be parts of communities if they want to grow, because you cannot grow as an individual in this space, right? You post a comment, it'll remain there like in Tamil they say another panam, like a dead body that nobody wants to come near. Okay. So it's very, very important to build community. And so I needed to do something to make sure that only the people who really, really, really wanted to, be part of that could join. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to share the link to the Gumroad link that I created. If you guys want to join, just give me a moment while I also parallelly review some of the questions that you guys sent. So Nitika, I hope I answered your question. No, I'm not part of any group. If my webinar sounds like that, it's because I just read a book last week. Okay. Give me just a second. Okay, I see that I shared this link previously with my friends, and I see that already a sale has happened. So thank you. I'll see you inside the group. I'm just heading back to this thing. Okay. No, it's the wrong link. There you go. So this is the link that if you guys want to work with me, that's the link where you need to sign up, and hopefully I'll see you on the inside. But now I'm getting back to answering questions. Okay, so let me just do something here so that we all know what we want to do. I'm going to set up a timer for 20 minutes, and we're going to have 20 minutes for having question and answers, and I'm going to make sure that in 20 minutes I'm going to close the sales as well. Like I said, I have a full-time job, and this is just me trying to help out other people. If I feel that there is no real demand here, then that's all right too. I mean, I hope I have helped you right here, and I know you guys are capable enough to do it by yourself. But in 20 minutes, I'm going to close my sales. I'm going to be getting on with my day, because I've already built my app, right? I've already built my network. So if you guys want it, that's up to you. But now getting back to the questions. Okay, Pramod George, I'm curious, why did you use Google Sheets and not Evalo for this webinar? Okay, next question is something similar. Vivek followed. Here is my hypothesis, probably because he wasn't trying to sell Evalo first. All begins with relationship build approach. Actually, absolutely. So I'm not trying to get you to buy Evalo. And I wasn't trying to even sell you anything. My entire goal was to show you how I built 2 low-code apps really quickly, and how you can do that too. And I hope that I did. the situation where I would use Evalo would probably be if you were buying something. I mean, I don't personally use Evalo. I use Evalo for my customers. So if there is a a pharma company that's using my product, so for them I created the evaluation, how healthy are you, because based on how people answer those questions, right, if they don't sleep well on time or they don't have particular nutrition, the pharma company can then reach out to the right customers with the right value proposition or the right sale. So I don't personally use Evalo for myself. I've not come across a scenario where I would use it, but in this scenario at least, sorry, I don't mean to say I won't have a scenario where I won't use it. In this scenario at least, I think my goal was not to sell you on Evalo, or it was just this whole webinar was impromptu. I'm familiar with Google Google Forms, so I just did it there. I mean, to be honest, Hari, I thought like maybe 10-15 people will sign up. Okay, I thought like, and I could reply to them on LinkedIn itself or give them something like privately. I never thought like 150 people would sign up. So hopefully that would answer your question. Anyway, I hope that answers your question. What was my cost of building Evalo and Anto marketing expense for getting first 50 customers? Zero. Zero, literally zero. So here's something. So many of these low-code apps, they give you a free tier that if you don't cross, you don't have to pay. Okay, and there are few. So for example, Flutterflow, it's got an amazing free tier. Okay, and Superbase, like I think it gives you up to 5,000 unique users before you need to start paying. So I built it for free actually. To be honest, I built it for free. Then I used FastGen. FastGen is not free, okay, but because I won the hackathon, they also gave me a free account. And there's a new beta tool that I'm testing out. I'll share that probably in one of my emails going forward. There also I've been given a free account to test it out, which is why I said I can help you guys get these discounted values, okay, for these low-code tools. So until you hit like 1,000 subscribers, 1,000 customers, and you're getting like millions of hits on your website every day, your cost is actually like maybe 0 to maybe at best like 1,000 rupees a month. That's it. So on the tool which I built, Evalo, which is Flutterflow, sorry, you get everything for free, but at the bottom, if you don't pay, you will get a badge by Flutterflow. If that's all right with you, you can build it for yourself and you can test it out with your customers. You have to pay $0. So thanks for asking that question. It's actually a very valid question. Your investment is also actually very, 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 very low when it comes to low-code tools as well. So I just realized I haven't started my timer. Hey, that's not fair. Okay, no, it's working. It is working. But can you guys see the timer? No. No, but it's not working, right? The timer's not running. So why is that? Okay, so it looks like I need to be on my thing to get the timer running. Okay, a few other questions. Let's see a few other questions. Okay, I don't have a question, but I'd like to recommend a book, Start Small, Stay Small by Rob Walling. Yes, I've heard about that and I feel the same way too. Bigger businesses, bigger problems. Flutterflow and FreeTiles won't allow custom domain. Yes, they don't allow custom domain, but if you, like I said, you can build your app for free, and if you want all of those little customizations, it's what, 900 rupees per month? Yeah, not bad. Not bad for having a full SaaS platform under your belt, right? Okay. No code, low code apps aren't cheap as they bill you in USD. Is there a better way to start experiment except Flutterflow offers INR pricing, which is a great value for money? Absolutely. So this is probably where I give you the answer. I'm actually writing an article where I evaluate different front-end, back-end, and integration services for low-code apps. And I totally agree. And one of the conditions that I say is you should have parity pricing for customers from different countries. And I'm going to even send that back to maybe the founders of these different companies, and I'm going to say, hey, um, this is my opinion on how to be competitive as a low code platform. And I have noticed that a lot more platforms have started offering parity prices, so it won't be long before parity pricing becomes a competitive advantage amongst platforms, because there are so many customers from developing nations like Africa and India. Sorry, Africa is a continent, but from developing geographies like Africa, India, and all of that. So they can't sleep on it for long. I'm sure that parity pricing is going to come to a low-code tool near you in 2024. Okay, what is the time commitment for day class? When does it start? Thanks for asking, Vivek. This is something that I will probably figure out with the cohort, right, on our first day. But I have planned classes or sessions for 1 hour each day. It can be early in the morning or late in the evening. But my goal is to help you progress little by little every day, because there's a lot that needs to be done in sequence, but also in parallel, so that you can publish in 30 days. My goal is to help you get to the end point, right? Help you launch your MVP, give you the confidence that going forward you can launch another app if you need in the next 30 days and build your future. So in order to do that, we are going to have to figure out exactly how it would work. But my current process of thinking is that it's going to be around an hour or two every day, and I'm going to be available live on the chat. So if you need me anytime, I'm going to be available to help you answer some questions. But we'll be meeting once every day to help you get your product online. Does that help, Vivek? Let me know with a comment or a like to your own comment. Yeah, okay. To your own comment, what did I mean? I think I'm reaching the limits of free speaking. Okay. What other questions? I'm curious. Any chances? Okay. So looks like any prerequisites for the cohort. I want to say yes. Okay. And the reason being, I would prefer a cohort of people with different backgrounds. The only prerequisite which is mandatory is that I would say that you absolutely want to build an app in the next 30 days. Like, that hunger must be there, okay? Because without that hunger, it's going to be like, okay, I'm here, I'm going to do this. And then when trouble comes, right, when you have to maybe do some kind of coding, or you feel that, hey, this is difficult, if you don't have that hunger to build an app in the next 30 days, well, I would say don't register, okay? But if you know that 2024 is going to be cutthroat, I absolutely need to stand out from from my peers. I need to learn a new skill. I don't care what anybody else is doing. And if possible, by hell or high water, I want to build an app this year and become a founder, then you would be pre-qualified for the Founders Club. Like I said, I have a full-time job. This is not what I do to make money. I don't make money out of this at all. This is something I want to do for you guys, and I want to qualify you by saying that I only want people who really, really, really want to be, who want to be tech founders. And for those, and that's why the value is there, right? I can charge you 50,000 rupees, and you would be probably more interested. But I want to do a minimum and say, put this down as your personal commitment, right? Like I said, many of you have paid 16,000, 10,000, 12,000 rupees for 2 days of agile coaching, which taught you nothing. It's not taking you anywhere in your career. This is 30 days of, one-to-ones with a team of people that are also trying to become better at what they do. You build lifetime relationships, and you end up building a software that could, help you earn recurring revenue for the rest of your life. So, I think it's a pretty good deal, and sometimes I undersell it. Many people say, hey, you should oversell. I think if you can't recognize the deal, that's their problem, but maybe that's me, that's just me. But yeah, the only prerequisite is if you're really hungry. If you're not, it's okay, I understand. I'm not trying to change the world, I'm just trying to, help my corner of the world. So if that's you, that's the prerequisite. Okay, another question. um, Anyone who doesn't have a, I can't read this question. Anyone who doesn't have a concrete idea on what to build, are such users the right one to use the course? Yes, absolutely. So Swati, there are two levels to this, okay? Like I said, just having an idea is not going to help you. If you don't have an idea, I will help you figure out something that you can build, and you will end up building at least one app by the end of the 30 days. So one of the biggest things, recommendations I give to people who want to learn something is recreate a tool that you already know or a tool that you already use. Okay, why? Because you know exactly what it should look like. Okay, you know exactly what it should feel like, and now all you have to focus on is learning how to rebuild it. So the worst case scenario, if you don't have an idea and I can't help you figure out something that you want to build, is you will at least learn how to build an app. Because if you get an idea on the 31st day, right, or you get an idea 2 months from now, you will be equipped to execute on that idea. So that is my commitment to you. If even if you don't have an idea, you are welcome to join. Like I said, the only prerequisite is that you absolutely want to take control of your future in 2024 and you're hungry to do something different. So hope that answers your question. If it does, just let me know. Hit the if I've answered your question, just reply to that comment. That'll be very, very helpful. All right. Anybody else? Are all of you convinced that you can build a low code app in 2024? Yes. Okay. So when Slycan says, when are you planning to start the cohort? Any fixed date? Sorry if I missed, you've already mentioned that. Okay, the cohort, I was planning to start it next week. I was hoping that this will give us a little bit of time for us to connect. If any of you join the program, we will spend a little bit of time this week to figure out what you need, especially so that I can kind of, I would say personalize the cohort training lessons to the cohort that's connecting this week, right? So maybe some of you are in a different region. Some of you already know many things about low code. Some of you are complete beginners. So that will give me a little bit of time to figure out what's the best sequence of classes, or even if I can break down those classes into different sections. So I can have one class for just the beginners, and I can have another set of classes for the more, the experienced folks. So starting next week is the idea. Yes, I hope that answers your questions, like just let me know by replying to me using comments. So we are almost only 3 minutes more. I'm going to close my sales opportunity here, and head out for life. Okay, and I think it's almost lunch break as well. So I want to see if I've achieved the goal of this webinar. Have I given you some insight into the opportunity for 2024, and have I given you the confidence that you can build apps in 2024? Just let me know by hitting that comment hitting a reply in the comments, because that would be my reward for the last 2 hours. And I really want to thank all of you who've stayed with me for the last 2 hours. If you feel that I have helped you, just let me know that I have given you some insight, and I've given you the confidence that you can build your low code app and you could take control of your future in 2024. All right. Okay, so Vivek says, thanks Pramod, this was helpful. I appreciate you, Vivek. Vivek, I want to also thank you because you messaged me earlier and I was able to, reply, and here you are on the call as well. If you need any help, feel free to reach out to me via email. You have my email. And I am going to go back to my list of emails for the 5 winners. Okay, and I hope it's the same name on your emails as well. Because if you, okay, or can you do me one favor? The 5 of you here, could you send me a message by replying to the email that that I sent you, right? If you can send me a reply, so I'll know that. Okay, so for example, JJ, I don't know how to find your email. If you have another name in the list that you've given me, just reply to my email from your email, and I will tell you about the next session that we have and how we can get together. Does that sound good? All right, so we are almost at time. We are done with the webinar. I just want to say thank you to all of you. All the best for 2024, guys. Remember, just because everyone is doing something doesn't mean that that's the way. There's always a better way. Don't be average in 2024. Be better, be different, stand out, and take control of your own future. Don't wait for others to force you to, work on their future goals. Define your future goals and work on it. Make 2024 count. Don't let it go. Start today. And if you need any help, you can find me on social media. I'm available on all social media, like not all, but I'm most, I think I would say, active on Twitter and LinkedIn at the Pramod George. That's my full name with a D in the in the front. It's at the Pramod George. Make sure you follow me, or you connect with me on these social media platforms. If you have any questions or doubts, more than happy to help you there. And yes, thank you so much, and I'll see you hopefully in the cohort. If not, thank you so much. Have a great rest of the year. Take care, guys. Bye bye.